Under the glowing lights of Hollywood from the 1930s to the 1960s, behind those films that were banned for being too daring, lie secrets the stars never wanted the world to know. When the cameras started rolling, they faced fear, pressure, and scenes far hotter than the era could accept. Some trembled in sheer revealing gowns. Others were pushed to be bolder just to keep their roles. And many forbidden moments were locked away for decades. Today we open the door to that hidden world, where legendary stars risk their reputations, their careers, and sometimes even their youth to create banned films that remain unforgettable. 1. Hedy Lamarr and the film Ecstasy. Ecstasy, 1933, is one of the most shocking films in cinematic history, and it instantly thrust Hedy Lamarr, then a young promising actress in Austria, into the global spotlight. The film is infamous for its explicit nudity and, most notably, the first ever orgasm scene on screen, something unprecedented at the time. When Ecstasy was released, Hedy Lamarr was immediately swept up in a whirlwind of scandal. The film was banned in multiple countries, and in the United States, it was completely prohibited for decades. She faced relentless media scrutiny with behind-the-scenes photos leaked without her consent, exposing her private life to public judgment. At just 18 years old, Hedy confronted moral condemnation, public gossip, and immense career pressure, turning her youth into a battlefield between fame and personal boundaries. Yet, this very film transformed her from an ordinary young woman into an iconic symbol of allure and cinematic legend, paving her way to Hollywood, despite being labeled controversial from the start. A little-known secret is that Hedy never sought this shocking fame, and the scenes haunted her for years. Still, they became a pivotal moment that launched her career, showing the cost of pursuing both art and notoriety. Ecstasy wasn't just a banned film. It was a story of power, sacrifice, and the steep price of fame in the world of cinema. 2. Barbara Stanwyck and the film Babyface. Babyface, 1933, is one of the most provocative films of Hollywood's pre-code era, and it cemented Barbara Stanwyck as a daring and unforgettable star. The film tells the story of a young woman who uses her beauty and sexuality to climb the social and corporate ladder, pushing the boundaries of morality for audiences at the time. Its themes of seduction, ambition, and sexual manipulation were considered too scandalous, leading to censorship battles across the United States. When Babyface was released, many states banned the film entirely, while others forced heavy edits to meet moral standards. Barbara Stanwyck, only in her mid-20s, faced intense public scrutiny, with critics and moral watchdogs condemning both her performance and the character she portrayed. Behind the camera, she navigated pressure to appear more provocative and daring, balancing artistic ambition with the risk of ruining her reputation. Despite the controversy, Babyface made Barbara Stanwyck a legend of Hollywood daring, showcasing her intelligence, charisma, and fearless approach to acting. Few realize that the film's scandal haunted her for years, yet it also opened doors to major studio contracts and iconic roles. Babyface wasn't just a banned film. It was a story of ambition, controversy, and the high stakes women faced in Hollywood's golden age. 3. Miriam Hopkins, and the film The Story of Temple Drake. The Story of Temple Drake, 1933, is one of the darkest and most controversial films of Hollywood's pre-code era, and it turned Miriam Hopkins into a name synonymous with daring performances. The film, adapted from William Faulkner's novel, tells the harrowing story of a young woman who becomes entangled in violence and sexual exploitation, exploring themes that were considered shocking and morally unacceptable at the time. When the film was released, it faced immediate backlash. Many U.S. states banned it outright, citing its depiction of rape and sexual coercion. Miriam Hopkins, in her late 20s, had to perform scenes that were emotionally intense and socially taboo, facing not only the camera but also public judgment and moral outrage. Reports of censorship battles and demands for cut scenes added pressure on her. Yet, she delivered a performance that was both haunting and unforgettable. Behind the scandal, Hopkins had to navigate the delicate line between artistic expression and personal reputation, knowing that audiences and censors were watching her every move. Despite the controversy, the story of Temple Drake cemented her as a fearless actress willing to take on challenging, provocative roles. the film became a lasting example of Hollywood's pre-code daring, showing the price women actors paid to push boundaries and leaving a legacy of courage, talent, and scandal. 4. Jean Harlow and the film Red-Headed Woman. Red-Headed Woman, 1932, is one of the most controversial films of Hollywood's pre-code era, and instantly made Jean Harlow a symbol of allure and boldness early in her career. The film tells the story of a young woman who uses her beauty and seduction to climb the social ladder, breaking every moral standard of the time. Its provocative content, steamy kisses, and suggestive glances led many U.S. states to ban the film or demand cuts to its risque scenes. At just 19 years old, Jean Harlow faced public scrutiny and harsh criticism from the press, while being pressured by the studio to portray a seductive yet scandalous image that defined Hollywood controversy. Despite being labeled a troublemaking star, Harlow shone with confidence and charisma, turning controversy into a launch pad for her fame and career. A little-known secret is that Jean was personally uneasy with the provocative nature of some scenes, but she pushed through her fears to complete the role. Red-Headed Woman was not just a banned film. It became a story of strength, sacrifice, and how a young actress turned scandal into Hollywood legend. 5. Jane Russell and the film The Outlaw. The Outlaw, 1943, is one of the most infamous and provocative films of Hollywood's golden age, and it made Jane Russell a household name almost overnight. The film became legendary, not just for its Western storyline, but for its controversial depiction of Jane Russell's figure, particularly her bust, which studios and censors deemed far too revealing for the time. Many theaters across the United States refused to show the film, and it was delayed for nearly 5 years before receiving limited release. During filming, Jane faced immense pressure to perform in tight, revealing costumes while maintaining the poise and elegance expected of a Hollywood star. At just 19 years old, she had to navigate the fine line between artistry and the moral judgments of censors and the public. Despite the controversy, her performance exuded confidence, charm, and magnetism, turning potential scandal into a defining moment of fame. Behind the scenes, Jane was reportedly uncomfortable with the intense focus on her body and the publicity surrounding it. Yet she embraced her role with professionalism. The Outlaw wasn't just a banned film. It was a story of courage, resilience, and how a young actress confronted Hollywood's obsession with scandal to become a legend. 6. Linda Darnell and the film Forever. Amber. Forever Amber, 1947, is one of the most scandalous films of post-war Hollywood, and it cemented Linda Darnell as a daring and unforgettable screen presence. Adapted from Kathleen Winsor's controversial novel, the story follows Amber, a young woman whose beauty and cunning allow her to rise through high society, using her charm and sensuality to manipulate those around her. At the time, the film's bold portrayal of sexuality, affairs, and provocative behavior led to censorship battles across the United States. Several states banned the film entirely, while others demanded heavy cuts to comply with moral standards. Linda Darnell, in her early 20s, faced enormous pressure to bring Amber's seductive and ambitious character to life, while navigating the scrutiny of a conservative public and critical moral watchdogs. Behind the camera, she endured long, intense shoots and the challenges of performing in revealing costumes, all while maintaining poise and professionalism under a cloud of controversy. Few know that Darnell personally struggled with the morally provocative nature of the role, yet she used the experience to showcase her versatility, courage, and star power. Despite the scandal, Forever Amber became a turning point in her career, solidifying her reputation as a fearless actress willing to take risks for both artistry and fame. The film remains a testament to the price women paid in Hollywood's golden age to break boundaries, face judgment, and create unforgettable cinematic moments. 7. Jennifer Jones and the film Duel in the Sun. Duel in the Sun, 1946, is one of the most scandalous films of Hollywood's golden age, and it propelled Jennifer Jones into the spotlight as a daring and unforgettable actress. Known as Lust in the Dust by critics, the film tells the story of Pearl, a passionate and headstrong woman whose desires and emotions defy the strict moral codes of the era. The movie was considered too sexually charged, with steamy encounters, intense emotional scenes, and provocative behavior that shocked audiences. Many U.S. states banned the film entirely, while others demanded heavy edits, making its release one of the most controversial of the 1940s. Jennifer Jones, in her mid-20s, faced immense pressure to embody Pearl's fiery sexuality and vulnerability, while performing under the watchful eyes of both the studio and censors. She had to act in revealing costumes and navigate intimate scenes that pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable at the time. Behind the glamour, she reportedly struggled with the intensity of her role and the public scrutiny that came with it. Despite the controversy, Jones delivered a performance full of depth, passion, and magnetism, turning the scandal surrounding the film into a defining moment in her career. Duel in the Sun wasn't just a banned or censored movie. It was a story of risk, artistic courage, and the high price actresses paid in Hollywood's golden age to create unforgettable, boundary-pushing cinema. Carroll Baker and the film Baby Doll. Baby Doll, 1956, directed by Elia Kazan, is one of the most controversial and provocative films of 1950s Hollywood, and it made Carroll Baker a household name almost overnight. The story follows Baby Doll, a young, naive woman trapped in a tense, sexualized environment with her husband and a suitor, highlighting themes of desire, obsession, and manipulation that were considered scandalous at the time. The film's sexually charged scenes, suggestive dialogue, and Carroll Baker's youthful allure sparked outrage among critics and moral watchdogs. The Catholic Legion of Decency called for a boycott, and several cities across the U.S. banned the film entirely, making its release one of the most censored of the decade. At only 22, Carroll Baker had to perform in revealing costumes and navigate intimate, emotionally intense scenes, while under extreme scrutiny from both censors and the public. Behind the scenes, she reportedly felt conflicted about the provocative nature of her role, but understood that it was crucial to her performance and the impact of the film. Despite the scandal, Baker's portrayal of Baby Doll was magnetic, blending innocence with simmering sexuality, and turned the controversy into a launch pad for her career in Hollywood. Baby Doll was more than a banned film. It was a story of courage, artistic risk, and the challenges women faced in pushing the boundaries of cinema during the conservative 1950s. If you love diving into these Hollywood secrets, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories. Hit the bell so you never miss a scandal, a forbidden film, or the untold tales of Hollywood's golden age. Join us and explore the daring, dramatic, and unforgettable world of cinema like never before.